For this tutorial, I use 6 skeins of loops and thread wool-like yarn, and I use 2 strands together, a measuring tape, stitch markers, scissors. I use a 4, 5, and 6 crochet hook, which is totally optional. Hey guys, so let's get started. I'm just taking my 2 strands, since I'm using 2 strands at a time, and we're just going to make a chain that go around our waist plus 2 inches. You know how we do. So I'll be back when I'm done with the chain. Make sure my chain is straight and slip stitch the ends together. Just gonna go into that first chain. Okay, so after the chain 2, we're just gonna jump right into the half double crochet, right into that first stitch. Now if you need a quick refresher about a half double crochet, is yarn over, through the stitch, pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that's it. Slip stitch it together. I'll make sure it's not twisted. I'll just fold it at the end. Make sure all the stitches is facing up towards me. Stitch on top of that chain 2, slip stitch on top of that chain 2. Gonna go right in there. Now you always want to make sure you go into that very first stitch. I'm gonna chain up 2 and half double crochet in the back loops all the way around, making sure you go into that very first stitch. And back loop all the way down, all the way around till you get to that chain 2 space. So and I'll meet you back when I get to the chain 2 space. Be back. Okay, so now I reached that last stitch with that half double crochet in the back loop. I'm gonna slip stitch on top of that chain 2 space. Okay, so after I slip stitch, I just chained up 2. We're gonna half double crochet in the back loop for a total of 6 rows. So just make sure you slip stitch into that chain 2 space after every row, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I'm just slip stitch. I've reached my 6th row and it measures 2 inches. So now I'm just gonna chain up 1 and single crochet under both loops, not the back loop, all the way around. And we're gonna single crochet for 3 rows, and I'll be back. Meet you back when I'm at the chain 1 space. And then the slip stitch into that chain 1 space. Now we're gonna chain up 2 and we're gonna double crochet in each stitch around till you reach 6 inches. So I'll meet you back midway. To check up on you, make sure you're good. Okay, so I finished my around 6 inches of my regular double crochet in the back loop. It do look like I increased, but I didn't. I just straight did my rounds. Now what we're gonna do is, this is optional, but for me I have to increase it a little in the hips area. So we're just gonna do an increase every other row. You get what I'm saying? If you don't, let me explain. So we're gonna put 2 double crochets in every 6 stitch all the way around, and then the next row a regular row of double crochet in the back loop, the next row an increased row, so on and so forth. And I'm gonna do that for about 5-6 rows. So let me just show you briefly. Okay, so this is going to be my increase row. I'm just gonna do, you know, just don't forget to go on that first stitch. I said this mad times. Don't play. Now this is 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna put 2 in there, so that's my 1, and then 1 more. And that's it for my increases. Okay, so you're just gonna repeat the increase row, and then after that row, the double crochet row, so on and so forth. Whether you're doing the increase rows or not, just continue your rounds till you get to the crotch area, just like we did with the ruffle shorts. Okay, so now I finished my increase rows. I did a total of 5 rows. So now this is the last row before the crotch area. What we're gonna do is count every stitch till we get back to that chain 2 space, and then divide that by 2. So I counted all the way around and I got 188, and half of 188 is 94. That's where you want to put your stitch marker. Wherever your half is, you want to put your stitch marker in that stitch. Now, what we're going to do, just like the shorts, we're going to measure our crotch area, or you can measure your panties, your drawers. If you don't wear panties, just measure yourself, you know, like me. And then we're just going to chain up that length, and we're gonna slip stitch into that stitch marker. So I'm gonna do my chain. Okay, so I chained up 21, and that's was good for me. It's about 4.5 inches by. Okay, so now I'm just gonna slip stitch where we put the stitch marker. Making sure that chain is straight. Now we're just gonna chain up 2. We're gonna double crochet all the way down the chain, and then back loop double crochet back to where we put the chain 2. So just double crochet down the chain, back loop double crochet all the way around so we hit this chain 2 space. Be back. Okay, so now I'm up to that last stitch in that chain. I'll go right here with my double crochet, then over, then back to the back loop double crochet all the way around until we get to this chain 2 space. Okay, so now I reached that chain 2 space, and you know, slip stitch right up in there. Then I'm just going to chain up 2, making sure it's straight before you slip stitch. Chain up 2 and do my double crochet in my back loop all the way around. And I do this for 3 rows before I switch to my 5mm hook. Okay, so I switched to my 5mm hook, and I'm just gonna slip stitch into that chain 2 space. And now I'm gonna start doing the decreases because I want my leg to have a certain look. Well, basically fit my leg. And I'm gonna decrease every other row. So working that back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now for my decrease, I'm just gonna yarn over, go into that back loop, pull through, go right into the next stitch, yarn over, have 4 loops, pull through all 4 loops, and that is my decrease. So this decrease section is super optional. I suggest try it on. For me, I have to come in towards my knee, so that's why I'll be decreasing every other row. Now, if it just worked for you, just working it around and it fits you, super perfect. And if you want to decrease every other row, that's fine too. Just try it on as you go to see if you want to decrease, increase. You know, everybody's shape's different. So you could work your rounds different ways. I'm just going to decrease every other row. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished the part that's 2 to 3 inches before my knee. After the 3 rows in total, after the 3 rows, I did 22 rows in total. So that's 11 increase rows and 11 regular double crochet in the back loop rows. So now what we're gonna do, we're up to the knee part. What we're gonna do is chain up 1 and single crochet in each stitch. We're gonna do this for 5 rows. Okay, so I'm back with my 4 rows of single crochet. So now what we're gonna do is chain up 2 and double crochet all the way around. Okay, so I reached the end of that double crochet row. I'm just gonna slip stitch in that chain 2 space. All right, get it together, girl. I'm gonna slip stitch in the chain 2 space. Then I'm gonna chain up 2 and place 2 double crochets in each stitch. Going under both loops. Okay, so I finished the row with 2 double crochets in each stitch. So like we've been doing, y'all already know, just slip stitch right there in that chain 2 space. Up, and literally for the rest of the flare, no increases, just double crochet all the way around. And that's it for the leg. Chain up 2 and place 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around for the rest of the rows. And every time, of course, when you get to that chain 2 space, you just slip stitch right in there, chain up 2, double crochet, slip stitch, chain up 2, double crochet. You know the drill. So I'll be back when I'm midway through with my flare. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. I was using my 5mm hook for this portion. I switched to my 6mm so it could have a certain kind of drape, not that tight drape. Well, yeah, I just switched to my 6mm and I'll be back. Okay, so I finally finished the leg with my 6mm hook. I did a total, after that second row, of 2 double crochets in each stitch. I did not increase anything. I literally worked rounds, and this is how it turned out. It looked like I definitely increased every row. I didn't do not one increase. This is just how it happened. And I did a total of 33 rows. Now keep in mind, I am 5'3", 130 something pounds. I'm short, so just giving you a heads up of, you know, the dynamics with my rows and the measurements and whatnot. So now, what we're going to do the second leg. And I'm gonna just show you how to reattach the yarn. And you're gonna do the same exact thing that you did with the first leg. Okay, so you're gonna make your slip knot per usual. I'm gonna take my 4mm hook. I'm gonna use that for 3 rows until I change to my 5mm hook. I'm going to go and attach the yarn here and work my way around, just like before. So make sure it's where the seam is at. You don't want to attach it to the back where there's no seam. Right where that seam is at is the side we're working on. So I'm just attaching my yarn. Let me zoom in. Zoom out a little. Okay. So I'm just gonna pull through. Pull the slip knot through. I'm gonna chain up 2. And I'm gonna double crochet all the way around. You know, regular double crochet here is no back loop because of the way the stitch is. And then back loop, double crochet all the way around. Okay, so now I reached the back loop area. And just like we was doing before, guys, y'all not new to this, y'all true to this. So just work that back loop, double crochet all the way around so we get to that chain 2 space. And you're going to do that for the, well, I did mine for 3 rows in my 4mm for, hook, and then I switched to my 5. And then for the flare part, I did 6. You don't, oh, let me get it right. You don't have to be switching like how I did, but I wanted some stitches tighter than the other. So yeah, you're gonna follow the exact pattern that you did for your first leg. You know, what I did was my, for the leg part, after my 3 rows here that I'm gonna do, I did increase row, regular double crochet row, increase row, so on and so forth, until I reach the little band part here. This is all with my 5mm hook when I did the 4 rows of single crochet. And then use the 5mm hook for 2 more rows, my regular double crochet, the 2 stitches in that, and the rest is the 6mm hook. So yeah, guys, we're pretty much done. You're just gonna finish your second leg. You're gonna tag me. You wanna send me all y'all dope version of the pants. And also, with the flare part, it's so many things you could do. You could do a shell stitch in the round. You could do like a fishnet kind of stitch. You could do a fishnet stitch for the whole thing. If you want to show a little skin, you know, show them what's up with the what's up. It's so many things you could do. Feel free to customize it and make it your own any type of way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back to show you when I'm done with my second leg. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the scrunch part. I'm gonna do my scrunch that size. And now I'm just gonna turn my work to where the waistband is facing me, my stomach, my body, you know. I'm gonna use a contrast color so y'all can see better, but it's exactly how we did the ruffle top scrunch. We're just gonna be weaving the legs in and out every other row. Okay, so after we make the loop, we're just pulling one leg through. And then you're going to keep that middle stitch seam in between. And we're going to pull the other leg through. And we're going to do this, well, I did it for every other row. You could do every row, weave the legs in and out. You could skip 2 rows, whatever works for you. But I'm just making sure I keep that one stitch in between. So here I am, just pulling the other leg through. So I'm just pulling that other leg through. So now it's kind of like hooked on that stitch in between, that seam stitch. And now I'm going to skip the next row. And the row after that, I'm just going to pull one leg through and then the other leg through. So I'm going to take my hook. You can take your hook, your fingers, whatever you need to do. And pull that leg through. And then I'm just going to pull the other leg through, keeping that one stitch in between, and then skip the next row, and then the following row I'm going to push the legs back, and that's what we're going to do all the way to the band. So I made it all the way to the top of the band. Once you get there, just pull it tight. You could tie it, make a knot to secure it. I'm changing the color to my yellow, so that's why I'm not tying it. But yeah, once you have it to your desired scrunch, tie it up, do what you gotta do. Or you can make it long enough to where it's the drawstring as well. And it's just so many things you could do at this point. So I switched out the color to the yellow that I was using for the pants. And now all I'm gonna do is just pull, tie it, and that's when you could do like a bow. You could do fringes on the back where it just hangs down. You could do beads. So many things you could do. You could just weave it in, keep it tucked inside, however you want to work it. So I'm just making a chain for the drawstring. I'm going to chain up 300. Oops. Okay, so now I'm going to take my drawstring and just weave in where we did the single crochet rows towards the band. So you're just going to do the ends together, make sure they're even, loop, I like to start from the back. I'm going to start from the back and weave in the drawstring in and out. And then you do the same for the other leg. And you're putting it right where those single crochet rows are. So right here is a single crochet row. Just gonna weave that in. Yep, just go in and out. And this part is super optional. So I finished my drawstring. You know, it's super optional, depending on how it fits you. And that is it for the pants. Okay, so here I'm just adding some beads to the end of my waist drawstring. That's optional. You could do anything you want. Fringe, not fringes, tassels and jewelry and rocks, whatever you into. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribing though. You know I'm gonna be dropping that heat. Come on now. Subscribe, thumbs up the video, and I'll see y'all again soon.